It's a journey, y'all. It's called The Journey Within. That's what my friend said to me. She said,
Genius.
there's no greater journey than the journey within.
Yo, what's good, gang? What's good, Soul Tribe? Thank you for joining me once again. What do you do, gang? Thank you so much for spending this time, this energy, being in this place, in this space with your boy, G3 Easy. We're in a heezy. Wow, what a beautiful day I've had. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're keeping swell. And as you know, in the highest vibration of love, that's where we dwell, yeah? Just before I started this reading, I was looking at my angel number book, and the number that came to me is 820, right? And 820 over here says, your way forward is dependent on your capacity to trust in God's plan and surrender any of your own small thoughts that could get in the way of your greatness. Wow, right? How crazy is that? Of course, like God's plan. I was thinking Drake, like God's plan, and interesting. As much as I thought of God's plan when I heard that, I was just thinking about now what just came to me is how in that music video, Drake is going around like giving people money and just like blessing them and things like that. So I'm just thinking about like how God is like going into different areas of our lives and wanting to bless us. And because the blessing, the greatness is so big, I mean, God's plan, like if we think about God's omnipresence, omnipotence, omniscience, that's what was coming through. What are those small thoughts that we have that could even limit the presence of God, right? So this version of me does not currently know where this reading is gonna go, but just hang 10 with me. I'm sure that whatever I name this video is gonna be pointing to exactly what this is all about. So I don't know where this is going right now, but I'm trusting, always led. And let it be bread, let it be like the bread, the bread rises, we include all the ingredients, like the yeast that rises. But I'm also reminded of how with yeast, there's that feast of like unleavened bread, which was like a reminder of the time that the Israelites made it out of bondage, made it out of, slavery. And to celebrate that period, they had bread without yeast. So it's a matter of saying how do we go back to the basics? How do we now trust in the foundation, right? Because that's what this greatness is going to be built upon. So if there are any small thoughts, limiting thoughts, any thoughts that could make us feel as though this is not popping, this is not it, then we need to catch them and ultimately allow God to cook. Because we don't want to be standing in the way of our own greatness now, do we? So yeah, man, let's see. Oh gosh, there's like a card that stayed behind here. Oh, a few of them actually. Goodness. Okay, let's see what we got. Let's see, we've got a few cards that stayed behind here. Ooh, and it looks like we have the Knight of Cups and the King of Swords. Interesting. Knight of Cups, King of Swords. So Spirit's saying this is actually what's going to ground the reading for us right now. So yeah, let me just go to the side, getting out the way, right? Get these thoughts 350. Let's just get out the way and let God cook. So, Knight of Cups, of course, what I'm seeing over here on this side is what is God offering to us? What is this beautiful blessing, this beautiful emotion or experience that's coming in? Oh, look at that Knight of Swords, just King of Swords, that's just falling down there. But maybe, of course, no mistakes, right? So if it would have been, if this is the Knight of Cups, when I'm thinking Knight of Swords, it's where are we being impulsive? Where are we not allowing God to cook, in a sense? But it's also being so headstrong in one way of doing and of acting, of being, of doing. But with me seeing the Knight of Swords, it would be instead of, being rash, being impulsive, like I was saying, or being going against the grain of what kind of the path that we're being led to go on, or going against, then now it's a matter of like applying this discernment. With me even looking at their faces, I mean, the ones looking left, the ones looking right, I mean, over here and over here, it's like, what is actually in the middle, and which is why I'm thinking that the cards are like starting to separate as well, is because like we are about to fill in this gap over here, right? So we're closing the gap, or we're bridging the gap right now. Interesting with me thinking about this, I'm thinking about my teeth and me having braces. Like, there was a time where I actually had a gap between my teeth, and it was like something that I really didn't like at all. So, me bridging the gap was, me recognizing that I really was like wanting to smile, like, how much it actually weighed on me that like I didn't have like nice looking teeth, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think it's very interesting to think that like, even something like that, me having this vision or idea of my teeth being a limitation to who I show up as, or how I show up, or me even defining myself by that. And granted, I feel so much better now that I did take that journey. I understand that, it had to happen for me to learn certain things, about my confidence, about how I view myself. And it wasn't the easiest of journeys, but here I am now in this, I would say night is coming through, goodness. This King of Swords energy. I think this is actually the progression, 629, of saying like, now I'm more decisive, now I'm more discerning, more understanding. So as always, Spirit wants to use me and my stories as the motivation, but here within this collective space, I'm just wondering like, how can you accept what is being offered to you and being very decisive or action orientated, it's like having done the mental gymnastics, having gone against the grain and seeing like, actually, when I go against my intuition, like what is it that actually happens? But now it's like a greater level of trust, a greater level of surrender, right? Which is what this book was saying. It's like, can we give into this flow? Can we allow God to cook, Spirit to cook? And when I say cook, I just mean that very same thing, like the bread, right? It takes about a bunch of ingredients. It takes a method. It takes a recipe. It takes alchemy. And here we are with this opportunity to work with Spirit, because that's what we do here on Roots Holistic. We take this journey within. As I'm saying this, I'm also being reminded of one of my clients, or, someone that Spirit led me to, who was telling me that like, yo, dude, when I contacted you, I really wanted just to like speak to you about like spiritual knowledge, and I wanted to speak to you about like initiation. And I started to think to myself like, oh goodness gracious, like the way I have been through, oh look at that, well, I saw it this way, justice in reverse. So it wasn't injustice, right? It was a matter of saying like, you know what, I'm coming to you to deal with the injustices in my life. Like I want to get a different view or perspective of what's actually happening. Oh wow, a card just fell. Ooh, and it's the sun in reverse, because the light was dim. It's like, yo, I'm gonna contact you because I see that the light was dim. I'm seeking activation at this point. And even just thinking about it, it's like, where can we initiate? Where can we start? Where can we take action on the things that are actually gonna bring us the most joy? Because, okay, this one first, then this one. Because we don't wanna like now mess up this vibe. We don't want to like get in the way of Spirit, or ultimately what Spirit wants to bring across to us, right? One more, or both of these. Bed game. We'll read them together. Interestingly, wait, what's going on with this deck? Looks like I actually, wait, did I even? Oh wow, okay, I actually had all these cards in the upright. Nah. Oh yeah, I didn't actually flip these around. Interesting. But now with me having taken them all out, it's like, okay, Spirit, what are you saying? Should I flip these around, or okay? Because I've never actually read this deck in reverse, so that's very interesting for me right now. Okay, should I read it as it is? What you saying? Are we flipping it? Yes. Okay. Well, guess what? Not only are we bridging the gap, but we're flipping this whole situation around, right? That's what God does. Because God did. That is what's God's plan. It's about to turn this whole situation around. Wow, interestingly, and at the back of the deck, we've got Wheel of Fortune. There I was saying our light was dimmed, and I think that was necessary to start off this reading. But of course, now in the upright, we've got the Sun upright. We've got Two of Swords upright. We have Page of Swords upright. Oh, wow, look at that. There I was talking about the Knight of... oh, no, actually it's not. This is now Page of Swords to the Queen of Swords. And then we've got the Moon. And then the last two cards that came out together is the Star as well as Two of Pentacles. Oh, wow. Wow. All right, Spirit, give me start. No, we're going to go for some more. Oh, this one here. All right, let's go. So, yeah, you know what? I'm just so excited to see what God, angels, guardians, ancestors, ascended masters are saying for us. Before the shuffle, we've got what do you need to release over there? You know, what is it that we need to let go of? And of course, as we let go, you know, something's gotta be unalive so that other things can live. Oh wow, clearly you wanted to come out. Cool. What do we need to release? Okay, this one. Let's see what this one is saying. The energy is gaining momentum. Ooh, okay, and this one and this one. All right, what do we have at the bottom now? Again, it's time to release negativity. Goodness gracious, like 1138, Spirit's like on this release, huh? Wow, and to think that's at the back of the deck, that Scorpio, and then again here we have the Wheel of Fortune. It's like you going through some release of some negativity brings in your fortune. That is so amazing. And you know, if we were going to read all these cards in reverse, it would have actually been some like unfortunate situation or some kind of misfortune. But clearly the fortune is here, like the wonder, the blessing is here. Like God's plan, like I was saying, is greater than our own. So why not trust in that? Further behind the Wheel of Fortune, we've got the Four of Swords. So definitely a call for us to take rest, be in stillness, be in meditation, you know, actually like start to heed the signs, heed the messages. I think, you know, there's so much distraction in the world right now. You know, there's so much that's trying to grab our attention, but really Spirit's trying to like work with us and do something to us or through us. And that happens when we tap in, when we tune in. I'm also getting a message about how like when we take rest or even in our sleep, like spirits are like working on us. I'm getting like psychic surgery, spiritual surgery type of a thing. So if you were thinking about like taking more rest and, you know, just taking more time to like exhale, just to like breathe, I think this is a reminder, but also a allowance that we need to give to ourselves. Like, yo, chill, bro. Like, chill, girl. Like, you've been going hard. You don't want to burn out as well, because I mean, imagine now your fortune comes in and you can't even enjoy it. So it's like your fortune or the thing that you truly desire comes in from you resting. And with you resting, you know, I was reading like on my sleeping app on the phone, the health app, and it was saying how like in the first few minutes of sleep we get into like deep sleep, and that's the most restorative sleep that we're gonna get. Because look at me even rubbing my eyes, like, oh, just like go back. It's like that's the most restorative sleep that we're gonna get. And in that restoration, it's like not only are we like allowing our, you know, our systems, immune system, digestive system, nervous system to like, you know, recalibrate, reset, reconfigure in a sense, but yes, that's what it is. It's in the sense, it's in the feeling. So it's like your senses get like, you know, bombarded with all of these influences, all of these things that are like other energies that come into our sphere, into our field. And then the innocence, you like being, you know, innocent, like by yourself, but also like outside of these external influences. Who are you by your lonesome, you know? But I'm also getting something about you being innocent, like an innocent soul, an innocent, like just being a spirit. And yeah, I'm just getting something about maybe you being bothered by certain things or people. But yeah, we're gonna go into it a bit deeper. What else do we have in the background that we're not seeing? It's the Three of Cups. Wow, interesting. I was thinking about this card earlier today. I was like, oh, Three of Cups is such a nice card actually, because it's like community. It's sharing as well. There's another word that I was thinking about earlier on, community sharing. Oh, it's a celebration too. Like, yo. You know what? And there we go. Three of Cups and three things are happening. So you're gonna have a community that you're gonna share with, that you're gonna celebrate with, and me just paying attention to my fingers. The boy got the number 3s over there, cause it's your boy G3E. What he do? 15. I'm just seeing right now. Oh gosh, it was 15-14. So for that, it's like it's being ushered in. It's actually coming in. Wow. Okay, one more. What's good, gang? Oh, we got the tower. What? You know what? And you know what? That's the thing, right? Because for our fortune to come in, we're gonna rest. We're gonna be, put together with our spirit team, with our community, whether physical or spiritual. And for those things to happen, some things have to fall apart. Some things are gonna be unalived so that some other things can live. Some things have to go down so other things can go up. And look at this. This is a shakeup. This is a movement to a foundation, to a structure, or a way of what we once thought things were supposed to be, or what we thought they were. So, that's very, very interesting. Goodness gracious. Usually when I look at like the tower cards, it's like usually showing like thunder or fire, just like some great, I would say like a calamity of sorts. But in this one, it looks like, from the clouds, it's like a rose, or like a sprouting of like different plants and leaves and stuff. I mean, just look at them over there. Just look at this. So it's like, this is like the most beautiful divine intervention that you've ever seen. Like, whoa, this is going to be like a beautiful shakeup, it seems like. And, with me even seeing this person here behind the tower, like on this side here, usually like the people are like in front. It's like some people are even going to be revealed. Some people are going to be exposed that, we made part of like maybe our structure or part of these small thoughts. Like there are some thoughts that we weren't even paying attention to, that we weren't even aware of, but that are now going to be revealed or exposed. Like, this is not part of your evolution. This was actually causing you to devolve, like go back. But wow. That's so interesting, man. That is so interesting. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Always love, always appreciation. But so I was like on the back of the moon deck, which was saying it's time to release negativity. And the first card here, of course, what do you need to release? So what we need to release is negativity, but again, also maybe these small thoughts, or ways that we are closing ourselves from receiving what this Knight of Pentacles is coming in with. And then again, with it being thoughts, I mean, we have the King of Swords here. So it's like, the King of Swords is like, being decisive, very discerning. And I was speaking to this mental gymnastics, like, we weighing up certain things in our minds, our thoughts that are like, forming part of our manifestation. And it looks like, okay, Spirit wants me to start over here. It looks like, with us having weighed those things up, it's like we weighing up our stardom, we weighing up our power, we weighing up our ability to be the blessings to the world. But of course, it starts with us being blessings to ourselves. Oh my gosh, I just saw that this card was a bit nude. Well, it is nude, and we don't want to get all of these types of things happening here on YouTube where the messages go down. But it's like, man, wow, like, what is it that we actually want to manifest is the question over here. Like, can we actually agree and acknowledge that, like, you know what? Okay, let me do this. Maybe I think that's a bit better, so you can actually see the card. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Hey, we find a way, gang. We find a way. You see, with me also like trying to like play with this energy, like weigh it up, weigh it down, but it's like, nah, we're gonna find a way. Interesting, 2 of Pentacles. I had to have like 2 fingers over here, so it's like some kind of balance is gonna come in. And it's gonna find a way, or maybe it's in the way. What we once thought of as balance, what we once thought of being reciprocal. I'm even thinking about the 2 of Cups right now. So it's like, how can we, let's put them aside, because I'm in the middle, because we're bridging the gap, because we are the ones who are going to bridge our own gap. We are the ones who are perhaps even in our own way, right? So it's like, don't get in the way of your own blessing, your own abundance, you even stepping into your stardom, your superpower. I'm thinking now, it's like, maybe we were weighing up ways that we thought our power was meant to be expressed or lived through. Wow, I just saw my reflection in a glass and I thought there was something moving there. But it's like, yes, can we see our reflection? Can we actually see our success, see our power, and not be afraid of it and open ourselves to receiving it? Because it looks like this is what has been weighed up for so long. It's like, can you really like step into your power? Can you really like get out of your thoughts and trust God's thoughts, or like spirit thought, your guide's thoughts? I mean, whoever you acknowledge as your higher being, universe, source. You get me? Allah, like, we're different people, and I know this video is going to be found by different people at different times, because the message is timeless, and that's what we are, right? In our timeless nature, we are just like the stars. We are the star seeds, the shamans, the light workers, the prophets, the light beings. I was about to say shamans again. Like, goodness gracious, guys, there's someone who's got a double mission here, and that's why we've got like two pentacles over here. It's like there's something about you being able to draw the connection between your double mission, and it also looks like the letter S. And I was saying in a previous reading how, like, the person with the letter S is Superman. So it's like you are not able to save Krypton. You're not able to save the world of what you were once in, like how he had to leave Krypton to come to Earth. But when he came to Earth, over time he ended up finding Supergirl. So it's like you are gonna, like with the Three of Cups, right? You're gonna find people just like you, even though you think you're alone, because stars will find other stars. It's like you being in your star energy is actually gonna like emit an energy or a frequency that allows other people who are just like you to find you. But it's about you getting into your strength, getting into your power. If I also think further about Superman, it's like Superman is actually charged up by the sun. So just look at that one there in the middle, and the sun is a star. Wow, interesting. So it's like we are gonna find these connections from us not weighing things up anymore, but just deciding like, okay, you know what, the passions that I have, the desires that I have, the businesses, the ideas, the things that you are feeling led to doing, they are connected somehow, because look at these having a connection with each other, right? But then the moment you step into that, it's like you're about to like complete this loop. It looks like these two parts are actually about to like join in with each other and form the infinity sign. So it's like you're almost there. It's like you're about to like close the link, about to close the loop, because things have been in a loop. It's like this innocent soul, this innocent being is finally ready to not only see themselves but step into themselves, which is the star over here. And with me even looking at the star and all the other stars around it, it's like you are the catalyst of change. As soon as you do it, it's like all these other like events come into like fruition or start to like play out. I even think about like a lot of movies and like stories where we witness the hero's journey, where like, for example, like with Harry Potter, with Harry Potter discovering his abilities, that literally changed the whole wizarding world. I think even with like Naruto stepping into his power changed the whole ninja world. But you get what I'm saying? In a lot of these stories or movies about people who discover who they truly are, their power, and they step into their power, it changes the circumstances of the whole world, not only just their lives, but the lives even around them. So it's like a ripple effect, you know what I mean? So I'm getting that also here with the water, right? It's like you just taking that step now, you unleashing, you pouring out your water, releasing your idea or whatever your passion is, or stepping into it, allows this water to flow, and it goes so far beyond you that you don't even know like just the impact or the reach that it's actually going to have. Today I'm sipping on some green tea. Let me know what you're sipping on. We gotta stay hydrated. If you don't have a drink, maybe this might be a good time to pause the video. I saw 23:41. But yeah, this might be a good time just to like pause the video, get yourself something to drink, and stay hydrated. I was looking at this other comment on a video I was watching the one time, and somebody was like, yo, why don't people know that they need to drink water? Some people oh, do you know what it was? It was like a video about like a smart water bottle, where like at a certain point in time, the bottle would tell you it's time to fill me up. The bottle would also be able to like track how much water you're drinking. And it's like, yo, if people need to be like told or reminded by technology how much water they need to drink, where's the world going to, But this one comment was like, why do people need to be reminded how much water they need to drink? Don't you just look at the color of your pee, and like based on the color of your pee, where your water intake is at. So of course you'd be able to see like, is your pee this color right here? Because if it is this color, then you need to get like, some water in you, right? So yeah, we're just gonna take that as a synchronicity as well in itself. It's like yellow being sacral solar plexus energy, and of course that is that energy that's going to give us this action, this drive, this willingness to move, get creative, step into our sensuality. And wow, I'm just seeing this connection here with the cards like being on the table, how we started off with the sun and we ended off with the star. So it's like from star to star, it's like, again, you are the, oh my gosh, goodness gracious, spirit cook, thank you God. Look at this, man. It's like you just, you know what? It's like whether we start at the end or start at the beginning, you are the star. You are this blinding light. You are going to be your happiest. In fact, this is your happy period. This is your new era. This is your glow era. I'm even thinking about how stars shine at night. So it's like a glow in the dark era, because the star is showing up the sun is a star and it shows up during the day, but the other stars show up at night. So you shining in your light, you shining in your dark. Okay, let's cover this again. Hold on. You shining during the day, you shining during the night. It's like, gang, like you shining all the time. And I think this is another reason as to why like you need to rest, because it's like, your energy is so powerful. It's like it permeates, it radiates, it finds its way into different places and spaces. So with someone as blessed, as anointed as you are, or with so much energy to give, with so much energy to channel and direct, why not actually take that time to like intersect with yourself, like come back to yourself, combine with yourself, combine with spirit. For me to even like get to that word felt like a little bit of some stagnancy there. So it feels like there might have been a bit of a challenge actually to like come back to ourselves, because Spirit's saying the answers right here in this card. Because like look here in the sun card, usually the sun is depicted as like a little child that's on a horse, but here this sun is actually like showing two people in it, right? I don't want to come too close because of like, okay, of course don't get too close to the sun. It's like Icarus vibes. But then again, the reason why I'm thinking about that is to say, the reason why there are two people here is to say like, you could have actually been looking for validation outside of yourself. It's like, do you need someone to show you who you truly are? Like, are you, what's going to mirror you? 27, 32. And we were just talking about 23 just now. So it's like, look at that transition from 2-3, then 3-2. I'm even thinking about somebody's age from 23 to 32 as well. Like, what has actually happened in that time? What growth did you accumulate or go through where you could actually now start to see like you are actually the sun, And while you might have been looking outside of yourself, these two people kind of look the same. It's like you were actually looking outside of yourself to find what was within you all along. Like, oh, wow. So it's interesting that I'm talking about how there's a sun at the beginning, there's, a star at the beginning, there's a star at the end of it all. So it's like even at the beginning, you were the sun. And while you were looking for it outside of yourself, you were just looking to get into yourself or see yourself. So I'm thinking that journey from 23 to 32, or even swap it around, right? 23, actually they are mirrors of each other. What am I saying? But it's like, man, whether you look at it backwards or forwards, that's what's coming through. Whether you look at it backwards or forwards, it's like, you are going to still realize that like, oh, wow. And even the first two numbers there that I just saw is 32. So look at that, goodness gracious, and 98 as well. Because it's the steps, right? You were taking the steps. Where were you going towards? And it looks like you see the steps was like with this brick wall over there. It's like whatever was behind that brick wall was something that, you left behind. And now here you are taking steps to see yourself, to uncover yourself, to learn yourself. And it looks like this is almost, it is actually, thank you, Spirit, for the correction. This is a recognition of the steps that you've taken to see yourself, to recognize that the thing that you were looking for all along was always within you, and now you come back to yourself and you find this yellow star. You find that creativity, that sensuality, that expression, that creativity, that drive, that passion, that charisma, that just that spark, Wow, that's so amazing. That is so amazing. Next card we have here is Two of Swords of 2949. With this Two of Swords, what I'm getting with this is that, like, okay, you realize that, what you were looking for outside of yourself is actually within yourself, but now you have an option now you have a decision to make. What do you do? It's interesting that, like, the moment you know better, you have to do better. But then some people are frightened by the thought that, like, what? Once you realize that you are the creator of your destiny, that we are just being in life. Even right now, I'm creating. I chose to do this. It doesn't mean that I'm only creating when, I'm actually in the studio making music, or I'm drawing, I'm painting, I'm coloring. It's not like creation in like the deliberate creation sense, like creators or being on YouTube or whatever, but creating your day, creating your thoughts, creating your expression, creating how you are. Because once you realize that you are not your emotions, that you are awareness encapsulated, you are awareness in existence, that you are not your emotions, you are not your experience, and you can actually change it. It's like now you realize, like, oh shit, I'm the sun. I can shine wherever I want. And I've not been shining all this time. Like, what? Like, come on. It's about time I do that, right? So 317. So now it's like, okay, here you are at the crossroads. Now you have this path. It's like, okay, do I go back to the mundane? Do I go back to what I once viewed as life, or what I once thought as like normal, Because again, it's something that we need to release. Are you ready to release the old version, the old story, the old narrative, the old way of doing and being, so that you can step into this new one? Because now you realize that, like, everything that you looked for outside of yourself, you ended up finding within yourself. So now it's about getting the inside outside instead of looking for the outside to come inside. It's like a whole switcheroo type of a situation happening over here. So you have this option now to say, like, okay, cool. If I have all this power, one, of course, it's frightening, but on the other side, the two, it's liberating. So you can continue the fear, or you can now step into the power. So where are you going to go with this thing? Because it looks like that was actually what was being weighed up. But now, instead of being in this Two of Swords energy, where now you maybe are trying to decide, like, where am I going? Where's my mind at? Like, can I lift the blindfolds on what once was to step into what is? Now you're working with spirit. Now you're balancing this thing, because, it's like even 2 feet, 1 foot in the physical, 1 foot in the spiritual. And again, it's because you have a double mission. You are fulfilling not only some things for yourself, but it's this greater expanse, right? It's this star energy that's going to be spreading out into the ethers, into the water, for the other stars to see. As above, so below. This is like you stepping into alchemy, ultimately. This is actually what's happening right now. You're stepping into a greater level of alchemy. And that's the offering. That's the offering. Wow. And here we have the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords. Interesting, the Page of Swords is, like, of course, right next to this Two of Swords. And, okay, I had them like this on the table. So it's like this Page of Swords is looking at this Two of Swords. It's like, let me think about this. This is spending time in evaluation. This is spending time in study. This is also like, I was getting something about like trickery as well, a bit of deception is coming through, like a little bit of like a Seven of Swords type of an energy. But because I'm not seeing the Seven of Swords, it looks like it's very much in our minds. And earlier on, I was speaking to this mental gymnastics that's going on. And I mean, the very next card that we have now is the Queen of Swords, right? Which came on this side. So it's like, look at all of this energy speaking to how, oh goodness. Oh my word, come on now. Yes, there we go. With me even trying to like put them together, it's like really speaking to what's happening in our minds, right? You're trying to like organize these thoughts, these truths, these wisdoms, these pieces of knowledge and intuition. Like, what am I actually gonna do with this knowledge? How am I actually gonna apply this knowledge so that it like is best suited or best fitting? And for me to even see that it was like what from the page to the queen, it's like from the daughter to the mother, there is this elevation that's actually going to take place from you having taken the time to actually like be very decisive as to what it is that you want to do. You know, I'm even getting something about overthinking, which is where this gymnastics is coming from. It's like back and forth between thoughts. Should I not? You know, what's that Brandy song? Should I go? Should I stay? I'm in control either way. Like, what? You in control either way? Come on now. Like, come on, gang. You in control either way, because that's the option. Oh my goodness. There's this other quote that I heard. What did it say? People only see what you've decided and not the choices or options that were presented to you. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? Let me let that breathe one time. Hold up. And I think that's so crazy. That's so powerful. Because, you know, we think through so many things in our own minds. We work through so many things, weighing our pros and cons. And what is reflected or seen by the external world or reality is the outcome of those choices. But they don't know that, like, you've been sitting with this idea for ages, weeks, months, years. You know, they don't know that you, like, considered people, especially if you have, like, people who are dependent on you, like, let's say it's your family, you know, or, you know, there's a group or community that's dependent on you, like a friend group, you're a parent, you are... I'm thinking parent and a parent as well. You know, the boy finds all these like connections between words. But what is apparent to them is that, you know, you've just decided on something, and they don't know the motivation. You know, they don't know that you are weighing things up. And like when you decide to make a certain decision and people only see the decision, they don't know what you had to like work through, right? So you can actually get to that point. But again, let me just come back to this because I feel like, my mind just kind of went on a detour there. But again, very important, I think, for us to remember that, you know what, people will come through with their own views or understandings of the decisions that we make and not knowing what options or pathways were presented to us. And this is coming through with a lot of trust, is to say, as you make this decision, can you trust that not only are you learning yourself, but you are learning life? And, you know, I'm even thinking about writing and like just, you know, people who document things and just create, right? Even as creators, a lot of the times I think we have ideas of how things are going to turn out, or in our minds supposed to turn out, 373. But then as soon as we start doing them, we realize that like actually, now that I'm in this flow state, now that I'm actually working with this energy. Oh, by the way, side note, flow state's been coming through so much for me, and I'm guessing that's what we're going into, right? A flow state, like, you know, where we close the loop on things that were once scattered in our brain, so we can like come back, but flowing with our manifestation. But it's like now you are in a place where it's like you're no longer going to question how things are actually going to shape up, because you will learn, you have an idea of how something's going to go out, but then as you start acting on it or actually putting time and energy and effort towards it, then it starts to shape up into something completely different. And again, that's the surrender, right? Knowing that for as long as you are with the right intention, with the right option, like that you've considered, you've weighed things up to the greatest or possible outcome, it's like you trusting that even now you don't know everything, or you are still learning how to weigh things up. You are still learning how to apply the knowledge, the wisdom, these downloads and intuitive hits. It is ultimately going to lead you to this queen energy where you've advanced, you are more evolved in your thinking, in your expression of your thinking, and even in like relaying your thoughts and how you were led to making certain decisions, you know. This is actually like now honoring your truth, acknowledging it, living it, embodying it. And, you know, with me getting these as female energies, it's also about, you know, that kindness, you know, that mothering to yourself, where you didn't like gaslight yourself, you didn't beat yourself up, you stopped that crazy talk, you stopped, you know, giving yourself like reasons not to do, not to pursue. Because I mean, again, awareness is something that's in the mind, you know. It's like if you can just like step out of your emotions and realize like, oh, I'm not this feeling, but I'm aware of it. and then you stepping out of that, getting this like bigger or holistic view of this thing, because we on Roots Holistic. What it do? It's like, yo, you are now like, oh, actually, I kept defining myself by that limiting thought or belief that I was less than, I couldn't, or I wouldn't, I shouldn't, because that was the old story, that was the old paradigm, that was the old construct, right? And now you're like, you know what? Fuck that. Fuck that. I'm thinking about that song by Nasty C right now. But it's like, yo, you are ultimately leaving it behind. You're saying fuck that. It's like it's the old story, right? Which is what I was saying behind here with these brick walls. It's like that's what's behind. That's what you decided to leave behind you. So you could step into your stardom, into you shining so bright. Very popular saying with the Queen of Swords is, the truth comes at a cost. And again, that's what we need to release, right? Just beneath these cards, I have like the energy is gaining momentum. So, with me even relating the energy is gaining momentum with these two, I mean, from page to queen or from daughter to mother, it's like that's where the energy is gaining momentum. It's your growth, it's your expansion, it's your elevation, it's your graduation. Like, come on now. Like I said, if you know better, then you're going to do better. 434. So it's like, you're not going to now forsake yourself by knowing that, oh, damn, I actually am better when I get 8 hours of rest. And then now you sleep for like 5 hours for 3 days in a row. Like, what? Come on now. Like, make it make sense. You know that you function at your best when you get 8 hours of sleep. So why not make it like deliberate? Why not put it into your routine? Or that you're at your best when you don't eat before bed, because now when you eat before bed you kind of feel groggy and stuff, because your body's still trying to digest, whereas your body is trying to get into deep sleep. For me even to get that card about 4 of Wands, and now with this, it's definitely, I think there's something very much going on in our heads, in our minds. And wow, look at this, the very next card to come through is the moon. And the moon, what happens when the moon is up? It's nighttime, we're sleeping, gang. I'm just being reminded again of what I mentioned earlier about like the psychic surgery. There are so many things that are happening to us in our sleep. And definitely take note of your dreams, get a journal. I remember one of the things that I used to do when I used to like wake up was like immediately like get onto my phone, check notifications and stuff like that. But now I have this routine where I wake up and I actually just, note down my dreams. Granted, I'm on my phone, but I'm not like looking at the external stuff. Now it's like me connecting with myself. So I'm away from notifications, WhatsApps, all of that. But it's like it's me and my phone app. Me and my note app, just like journaling my dreams or whatever. And sometimes either before that or sometimes just after that, then I spend some time in stillness, getting into like a meditation or like stillness breath work, just so I can like set the tone for the day. And I've realized like, oh wow, me actually having done that, not only am I now starting to have time to connect with spirit and release whatever was happening in my dreams or whatever first thoughts came to mind. Confirmation burp. It actually like put me in a place where I was able to like win the day before the day started, set the tone, set the intention for the day, and actually live in that future state and bring that future state into my current state to say it's 7 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock in the morning and I'm already thinking like, okay, what is my end of day looking like? At the end of my work day, 4 or 5 p.m., this is how I'm feeling, or this is how I want to feel. Before I go to bed at like 10 p.m., 11 p.m., this is how I'm thinking, this is how I want to feel at that state. And now it's like I've worked backwards to say, okay, I'm going to feel good, I'm going to breathe, I'm going to check in on myself, at different points throughout the day, things like that. But it's like you learning, like, what is your routine? What is your practice? And I'm even thinking now, like, at some point, I think I should like record a video on like these different things that I do. Like, how do I meditate? How do I breathe? How do I journal? Like spiritual practices ultimately. So if that is definitely going to resonate for you, I just saw 4345. If that is something that you would like to see, definitely comment, let me know, like, if you think that would be useful for you, and if you'd like to know more about that. I really want to be of service because I know this information. I'm applying this for myself. I'm the one doing all of this work within me, for me, and being that example, my story being the motivation. Somebody's gonna see me and even ask like, yo, dude, how did you do that? How did you become that? And then, the people who are willing to go on the journey within, people who are willing to do the work, will actually use my blueprint or my template and tweak it to themselves. So I'm not like painting my advice or story or my method as the tried and true. It's like it's the only way, but you'll find your way. I'm even thinking about like how people have this thing about like religion and spirituality, and like how there's like maybe one way to God or one way to learning certain things. And I think we need to, again, deconstruct the construct, understand that we are individual people, individual experiences. Certain things had to happen for you to even be in this body, in this time, in this incarnation, having these experiences that only you can uniquely share, right? So how do you best honor that in the best way that you can? And please, like, apply discernment. These are not only collective readings, but oh goodness gracious, but it's also a call to say, like, which parts of this are speaking to you and your soul? Where do you feel that you need to make those movements or those aspects with like transitions, movements, like changes that you need to make that are actually going to bring about the best thing in you, right? But yeah, I just diverted there for a little bit. Anyways, coming back to this moon card, yo, gang, at the moon time, it's like it's high time, right? Because the moon's also up in the sky. But oh, look at this book just moving. Let's read another one. What you saying, gang? All right, 8:15 here is saying, angels are sharing opportunities for new beginnings with you at this time. Remember that you always have a choice and are encouraged to choose the path that speaks to you. Wow, isn't that what I just said? Like, you choose what works for you. Thank you, Spirit. Wow, thank you. What? That's crazy, right? What speaks to you? And that's why you had to go on this journey within. And that's why in the evening times, in the moon times, you're gonna sleep on this thing. You're gonna get into your Four of Pentacles. Your Four of Swords, right? And like, you're gonna rest. You're gonna hear the downloads. You're gonna note the dreams, the synchronicities in your meditation as well. It doesn't just have to be sleep or rest, right? Even in your naps, like, what practice is it that you do that brings you back to yourself, so you can actually calm your mind and not be so focused on like the overthinking, on the perfectionism, on how it appears, but rather how it feels. I think that's powerful right there. Let's take a sip right there. Oh my goodness. Sometimes you just gotta let it breathe one time. You just gotta hydrate, because the system's like, whoa, you said that, boy. But hey, man, this moon card, goodness gracious, come on now, Spirit, let's go into the message. Oh, we're flowing. All right, cool, gang. Let's go. I just saw 4727, and that's like what, 47, 27, 20, right? What number is this? 15, 16, 17, 18, but it's a number 2. Wow, like, look at that. So, when we're talking about the Two of Swords, the Two of Pentacles, so there's something very, very strong here about balance, right? And I'm just thinking about the two roles, from the daughter to the mother, the page to the queen. Even as I have them here, now that I think about it, we were speaking earlier to how we're getting back to the moon. Clearly this energy is being ushered in, but Spirit wants to bring this forward. How we have a pair on the table, right? I was saying earlier, this is like what's grounding the message. It's like there's an offering that's coming in, and we needing to like step into our King of Swords, and then there is this Queen of Swords energy. So it's like you're gonna find this balance, which is where I was at actually. This balance that's happening in the middle of us. And it's coming through. It's definitely coming through. Oh, wow. Look at this balance again, with like the 2 dogs or the 2 wolves. So, wow, man. Interesting. And it's next to the last 2 cards. Because after the moon, I pulled two cards that were being read together, which was the star and, okay, let's cover that part. The star and the two of pentacles. So it's like, it's further two cards, two of pentacles. It's like, yo, two, 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 two. I don't know if maybe you're seeing a lot of synchronistic numbers right now. That might also be speaking to what's happening here. But yeah, I was about to say two of cards. But yeah, two cards, right? But two cards kind of also sounds like gods as well. So you might have like two guides as well on your side right now. So I don't know. I'm not sure if it's like your maternal and your paternal, but it could be, I don't know, like a Shiva, a Shakti, yo, man, I don't know. Like you could have Thoth and Horus, you know what I mean? You could have Saint Germain and Kuan Yin. Like you get what I'm saying? Like I'm just getting a whole lot of stuff. But what's coming through now is like there's this what's this thing? The avatars of Krishna. Is it like Durga or something? And Kalima, I think. Like, yeah, but I'm getting something about that. Like, I don't know if you like are of like Asian descent or something, but yeah, that's definitely coming through right now. So, or maybe they relate to you in some way. I mean, if you just Google what those deities are about, of course, each of them like embody different aspects, right? I'm even thinking about Hanuman as well right now. Like, yo, there's a lot. You've got a lot of guides with you, whoever you are, but just a lot of protection, definitely. Even with me thinking about the protection, I'm looking at this crab. It is a crab, right? Yeah, it is a crab. So what would that be? Cancer? I'm not sure if that's your star sign. But then one of the first cards that we had here was Scorpio. So Scorpio, Cancer, maybe that might be your sign, or maybe it's somewhere in your chart. Check it out. But the protection, just look at this here. Like, there's, this line or this border around where this crab is. And, Cancer, I'm also thinking about Pisces, how they look like almost similar with these structures, right? So it's like the structures, the protection. So there's something about that as well. And I mean, even in this moon card, we have two structures there on the left-hand side. And again, there we go, the two cards, or the two balance, the two gods. Because I mean, two dogs, two structures. So again, you see now it's like from 2 to 4, and which is what I just spoke to, where like it was like the number 2 and the number 4 on the timer. Goodness gracious. But yes, in this moon card, whoa, Spirit took us like on a whole loop there. With you spending time in the evenings resting, there's some truth, there's some revelation that's going to be revealed to you. And just before here I was speaking to about how the Queen of Swords is speaking to, oh sorry, I flipped these cards around. Okay, flipped it, because we're flipping the situation. Remember how we started? With this Queen of Swords, I was saying that the truth comes at a cost, right? And now it's like this truth is being delivered to you in the nighttime. So I think, carving out like some time before you go to bed just to meditate, rest, come back to yourself. What am I hearing? Okay. I think it's like a bee hit or a fly or whatever hitting the window. It's like, yeah, you're going to close off the windows. You're going to create your sacred space so that you can stay within your structure, within your water, within this internal flow, because it's in the water, right? So you're gonna now flow with yourself. And that's what we were also getting here with this star card, where I was saying that, like, where, so we can just see the cups nicely. I mean, you see there where, like, the water that she had is now being poured out. And now it's like you are spending this time within yourself to get to stillness, to get to coherence, actually. Oh, wow, that's so powerful. And I've been learning a lot about that. And that's what the whole point of meditation is, right? To get to a state of coherence, because we are like, balancing our field. And I mean, just look at the lines here in this water. Like all these lines are like straight. So it's like you are getting to a point of like, calming your energy and like reconstructing your energetic field, so that the things that are needing to be in your space or in your field can actually now find you. And interestingly, how like I'm seeing that this water is being poured out into, you know, the greater water, the rivers or the flow. And it's like it doesn't disturb the coherence, but it actually expands on it. It actually adds to it. So there's so much benefit that you're going to find from actually like spending time in yourself. I mean, look at me scratching the crown. 5355. You know, you're going to collaborate with spirit, bring about these changes. And, you know, I mean, look at all these, like, I would say it's almost like solar flares. It kind of looks like what we're seeing here on the sun card as well. It kind of looks like it's raining, but it's like whether it's daytime or nighttime, sun or moon, Sunday, Monday, like, oh wow, maybe that's your days, Sunday and Monday, you know. I also know like how, you know, some people have that idea of like the first day of the week is Sunday, others say it's Monday. But either way, I mean, even the days of the week are telling us, right? There's a Sunday and there's a Monday or Moon Day. So it's like there's something about those days about how you can actually start off your week right. Here I am saying that, you know what, every day you can start your day off right in the morning through journaling, meditation, breath work. But you can actually set the tone for your whole week on your Sunday or your Monday. So definitely think about doing that. Wow, spirit. Woo. Wow. Wow. Again, the last cards were the star. Oh goodness, throat chakra is going there. Yo, activation. One more time. But yeah, there's just something about again, nighttime, shining your light, being the star. And you know, this greater perspective, this greater seeing, this greater knowing. I mean, even here in the star and I mean in the sun and the moon cards, we have faces in the sun and also in the moon. So again, there's the number 2 coming through again. So there's so much about polarity, so much about balance, as above, so below. And I'm guessing or getting that it's linking to these two. So, you know, it's like your sun and your moon are coming together, your dark and your light. There's integration taking place right now. So make the most of it. 555 on the timer. Wow, beautiful. Spirit, what? Okay, we're going to this one. All right. Oh, snap. Before I do this, guys, we had 2 more moon cards. One of them is saying adjustments are required. This, I think, is tying into what we were just speaking to very much so. Adjustments are required. I mean, you know, even in the moon phases, I mean, there's a half a moon. The one side is light, the one side is dark. Come on now. There's the synchronicity coming through again. It's like, what is the adjustment that you're going to make? Once you realize that you are awareness and you are not the things that you are feeling, but you can observe them, you can now create them or choose them and step into them and embody them, then you now adjust. You were going in this one direction, now you can course correct and go in a new direction. But the nice thing about God, angels, universe, source is that no matter which path we are on, we are going to meet experiences there, we're going to meet God there, we're going to meet divine intervention there. So it's like the Waze app, you know, or it's like any GPS. It's for as long as your destination is set, any path that you take, you'll be redirected and course corrected for as long as you keep your eyes on the prize. So now you are now adjusting to say like, oh, flip, I want to go that way. But with what I'm doing, what I'm choosing, how I'm thinking, you know, those old thoughts, that gaslighting, the notions or ideas or projections as well. Goodness gracious, my ear, my throat, my nose, like ENT vibes. I don't know if that's just you or if it's just me, but activation. But it's like, yeah, you were now going one way, but now it's like, focus. Now you move, you know. Then I'm making like the horse galloping sound because we are about to shift. The year is actually about to get into the year of the horse, because I mean the year fully like actually changes sometime in like middle of Feb, and that's what we're approaching right now. So this is like that last little bit of last year's energy kind of like falling off or like fiending off, like, you know, how you want to look at that. And that's the adjustment that's been required, you know, from one year to the new year, from one way or one state into the new state, you know. And it looks like, again, from that integration work that I was speaking about, like how you were looking outside of yourself to actually find yourself, now with you being in the sun energy, it's a recognition that like, yo, dude, your hard work is paying off. Like, you've done the work, you continue to do the work. And I think this is also a reminder that, you know what, we don't shy away from the work. We know that the work is continuous, it's ongoing, because new levels, new devils, with each, like if you think about it like school, with each grade, with each level that you step into, you're going to be tested at that level as well. And once we leave school, we are now in life school, we're being tested in life. So you're being tested every day in some shape, in every month, in every period, phase, season, or cycle, you're being tested. And you elevating out of those and going into the next ones is you leveling up, you doing that inner work, right? Keeping to your light, keeping to your spark, and living from that, expressing that. I think this is very beautiful, very beautiful. All right, Spirit, let's get some cards to close this off, let's get like some dope advice. Let's see what you got for us. This is just a normal deck of playing cards, but it has like the image of, is this Abraham Lincoln? Yo, I think it is, right? Or just one of those American presidents. But anyway, okay, cool. Man, I put it back, but it's cool. Let me see, we'll just take this. I had a feeling a 7 cards might come out. All right, bet. So let's just get some advice there. All right, I'll take this. Oh goodness, there's like, my right ear is just going off, gang. Okay, this one and this one as well. All right, so just some advice to close out this reading, yeah? So, first card that came out is 7, which is, yes, the 7 of diamonds, which would be the 7 of pentacles. You need to focus on your investments, gang. Focus on where your energy is at. Like, where have you put your time and your energy, your resources? What is it that you actually want to see grow? And it's a call for you to actually like focus on that, right? Next one here, we have 10 of spades, which would be the 10 of swords. So again, some things have to die so that others can live, right? So what is it that you can let go? What is it that you can shed? I'm even getting something about like a rebirth of sorts over here, where you are at a point in your journey where you realize that something has to change. Again, stop with the mental gymnastics, or rather direct that mental energy into something that's really going to be fruitful. Instead of thinking about how things could go wrong, what if they go right? I'm thinking about this song by Subtract. I think it's called Make It Go Right, or Something Goes Right. Something goes right, something goes right. Oh, I haven't heard that song in a while, man. But anyway, think about that. And of course, with me thinking about the artist name Subtract, but it's spelled like SBTRKT. Subtract is like, how do you, remove what needs to be, deaded, what needs to be unalived. Goodness, more, wow. It's like the itch is like on the inside. Here we have 9 of swords, right, which would be 9 of spades. And with the 9 of swords, again, it's like, guys, this is all in our minds. Your mind is a manifestation tool. The moment you can take control of your mind, you are ultimately taking control of your reality, your choices, your experience. So if there's anything that's bringing you like anxiousness, worry, fear, it's a moment of realizing that, maybe that's calling you to grow in that area. So stepping into those areas that maybe you've been ignoring so that you can unearth those things. With me even seeing how like 10 came back to 9. So it's like, 10 here, then going to 9. It's like you taking that step back, which is what I was saying. It's like you are awareness. That is what life is. If you can put life into one word, I would think that's what it is. It's awareness, because every day we are taking note of things. We are like these antennas, right? And not only are we receiving things, but we can also put out things. So you stepping into your bag. And then here we have the 5 of swords. And what, right now with this, of course, just being a normal deck of playing cards, I'm getting this as like a very personal energy. It's like, where are we fighting ourselves? Where are we in this internal war, in this internal battle? Where are we gaslighting? Where are we petty? Where are we unkind to ourselves, even in the way that we speak to ourselves, the way that we conduct ourselves? So definitely a lot of swords energy, a lot of air. You might be one of the air signs again, or maybe it's something in your chart, But I strongly encourage that, not only do you look at like your sun sign, but what is your moon, what is your rising, what is your descending, because then you can now start to see like how these different energies interact with each other. A app that I like to use for that is called The Pattern. So just check it out. It's an app with like a white background, and it's got like this black like paintbrush or stroke on it. Kind of looks like a comma. So again, take that little pause, right? Because a comma is like a little break there. Goodness gracious. At the back of the deck, we have 6 of Pentacles. And this speaks to the giving and the receiving. I'm being led to how we started this reading with the number 820. And again, it was like God's plan and our plan. Typically in the 6 of Pentacles, we see a figure who's standing, and then there's like other people who are like, with their hands open. And it just speaks to us like now working with the energy. So ultimately, that's what's being brought forward here. And again, me saying ultimately all the time, because we're going up, we're going to peak levels, we're going to the tippity top, because we're tapping in, you know what I mean? But it's like, here we are being given this opportunity to work with this energy of giving and receiving, right? This give and take, because it's like a movement, it's a flow, it's a motion. And in a previous reading, I was speaking to perpetual motion. This is never ending, this is never stopping. So let's keep working on that and see what is it that we can give to ourselves, give to our dreams, our aspirations, our dreams, our motivations, right? And just behind that, now we have the 8 of Pentacles, and continue putting in that work. Because what did I just say? Your hard work is paying off, but then the work also is not stopping. This is a continuous thing. Wow, nice way to close out this reading and connect everything all together again. But yeah, I think that's it. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for you being here. 10515. Oh wow, 1515. 2 15s. 15s. I got 2 15s. And that's big crit, big bang. Yeah, he's talking about like having 2 subwoofers in his car, like 2 15 inches, because he likes playing loud music just like me, So we got 2 15s out here. In fact, let me see, like, this book also has like numbers, like mirrored numbers. Let's see what 1515 says, and let's actually close it out with that. 2 15s. I need to listen to that song. I haven't heard it in a minute. I'll read you 1515 as well as 1551, the mirror. 2:15, 15:15 says, know that the changes you are making at this time are necessary in order for you to grow. Trust that the space you are making is creating room for abundance. Beautiful. So beautiful, man. So beautiful. And then that was 15:15, and then 15:51, this one says, your angels are encouraging you to be brave and strong. It's important for you to see where changes are required in order to feel aligned with purpose and abundance. Changes, abundance, trust, purpose. And the feeling aligned, right? Feeling, guys, let's get back to that. But yes, if it's good, if it feels good, then it's God. So I always say that because I live it, I embody it now. I know it, I trust it, I've seen it, I've witnessed it. Thank you for spending this time with me, as always. Let me know which part of this reading resonated with you. If you'd like to get, your own personal message, hit me up at the bottom. Please like, share, subscribe. That is very much appreciated. It costs you nothing, especially if there was something in here for you. Just spread some love one time, let this spread in the algorithm and find all the people in the tribe that it needs to find. And just thank you so much for being on this journey with me. We are all going on this journey within together. And yeah, let's ride. Let's go to the ultimate. Let's go to the ultimate. Okay, let me go listen to that song now. Peace, gang. Cheers.